Hey guys, my name is Jay or the 8 and welcome back to another episode of Empyrion, where today I'm going to show you a lot of what I've done, and we're going to do some other things that we need to do in order to get ourselves the new Dawn 6.0 and obviously get out into the planet, into other planets and shizzle. So, night vision is on because it is obviously dark at the moment, but the base has actually gone through some pretty cool renovations that you guys might like. I've actually extended out now, and we have a farm that sort of resides within this, and I've got these like lovely windows so we can obviously it just looks a lot nicer, a bit more I don't know, just looks a bit more professional having like these windows on the front. This is really cool. And then what we have on the back is, as we go around, we've got a staircase here that leads us up to the roof. We've got the sail barge sitting at the back, all nice and tucked away, which I've painted and everything now, and it's all hunky-dory. And then if we open up here, what you'll find is we actually have the base. Now I haven't got lights in here, I haven't got them turned at the moment because of power consumption, but I only need them on when I'm in here a lot. What we have is we actually have 3 chests. We have one that contains the large stuff, one that contains the small stuff, and one that contains all the fuel. And then what we're going to do is we have space here for another, well, we have 4 plots basically. We've got space for 4 plots. And what I want to do is I want to put loads of plots down that have different plants in, because these growing pots you can get like the steel ones and the wooden ones and stuff. They're a lot cheaper to make, which is really useful and really interesting. So that means we can, just generally generate a lot more, just generally, anyway, so I've done all that, and then what I've done is I've actually moved around a lot of stuff. Everything's actually encompassed within this room now, because what I was finding was because this building was sort of still open to the elements, the plants were having issues growing. We've actually just received our first harvest of tomatoes and space honey from here, which is good. And I was actually struggling to maintain the plants, and I had to basically bring everything internally into the craft, which has kind of worked out well, because we can access our ammo box, we can access the fuel, we can access the oxygen. Well, I say we can access the oxygen, we can't actually access that, but it's because of these the way they are. But and we've got just generally lots more room in here to do stuff. We've encompassed, we've got a lot of these sort of cabinets that contain our guns and stuff, which I want to replace with armor lockers. Storage lockers after a while, because they're just better in general. And I've got myself some more charges because I started running out. And if we turn the light switch on, this is basically what you see. I haven't got lights going on in here because those will just be plants, and it's just a wall over there, so there's no real bother there. But I've got these here, which is quite cool and nice. I do probably need to put some lights outside, just dotted around on the corners, just so we've got some light out here. As for the ships, we've got all the ships ready to go, and I think what we want to do is we want to prep to take the sail barge, which still doesn't have a name, out and about. Before we do that, we need to christen the mining vessel and the harvesting vessel, and what we're going to christen it as is the Bedrock, HMS Bedrock, because who is it? Who is the guy? ITB Osveta, or however you say that. I'm not sure. He said call it the Bedrock, and it's just a pun, and I liked it, so. We're gonna call it that, and bed pun, Bedrock. I'll call it the cat. There we go. So we've now got our mining vessel renamed, which is good. And the only one we don't have renamed is the sail barge. So if you do have any suggestions for a name for the sail barge, then give me suggestions, or we just leave it as sail barge and don't really ask any more questions about it. But it's a pretty decent craft now. After all the bugginess that I had with building it and everything else, it's actually a pretty decent craft, and I actually like it a lot. And it's going to serve us really well, just generally getting around. If I turn all the lights on, And it's just a really, really cool ship inside. Now, for whatever reason, I get too hot when the ship is turned on. I'm not sure why. I don't know whether it's because there are thrusters nearby to me and they cause an environmental effect, but I get too hot. Now, I'm hoping somebody can explain why, because every time I jump on that ship it comes up saying you're too hot and I start suffering with heat stroke. And I don't think I should, I don't think my character should be suffering with heat stroke, being as, you know, he's standing on the top of the vessel. But I don't need to stand on there for that often. I tend to be in the, you know, in the vessel more than I'm outside of it. So it's only when I go to grab the ships. We do need something for grow pots, plant fibers. We need to go and get some of them. But I also want to go and strip the farm down. Now that we've got our own source of a sort of a farm, and what I want to do is I want to grab a core if we've got one knocking around. I want to go and basically dismantle the current core from the farm, and I want to try and strip it down if I can, because if we can strip it down it means we can pull off all of the plants that we need from it and utilize the seeds as well as the grow pots here, and we can sort of make more use of them. So that's just the general plan. I'm gonna eat some tomatoes because we are considerably hungry, and being as we've got a supply of them now from our the crops are dead. What the F? Explain this to me. Why did the crops die after their first harvest? Huh? I mean, what's causing the temperature issues? Okay, so we don't have we have a crop issue. We can't seem to grow crops on this freaking mountainside because it's too cold in here. But how do we make it warmer? I mean, even the thingy plants have died. How does planting work? I don't know. We're just gonna have to keep replacing them. Is this like a whole thing about the plants die after like their first harvest and you have to replenish them with some of your stock? I don't know. I really don't know. Tell me in the comments, please. I'd really love to know why, because it's so frustrating and annoying. I'm gonna have to do some reading up myself to try and figure it out, because it is just bloody annoying. Right, what are we gonna need a lot of? I've already getting fuel. That's already sorted. Fuel's gonna be something that's gonna be one of those things that we don't want to not have. Bullets, we've got plenty of bullets. We could probably use a few more shotgun shells if we wanted. The barge doesn't have guns, so do we stick a turret on it or do we just leave it open? I guess we could stick a turret on the underbelly, and then that way it could actually fire at stuff. But then that means we need to have ammo on it, and it just becomes a bit more complicated. I don't really want to make it too complicated. I did actually sort out the how do you call them? The sensors, because what I wanted to happen was exactly what you just saw, where the sensors basically pick me up and then allow me to just walk up the ramp. And what that allows me to do is just makes everything easier. And these sensors are really, really cool. My only gripe with them is the fact that they don't allow for small ships. The fact that small ships are not a thing. And what was that? I haven't a clue what that was. Right. So what we need to do is we need to get that fuel out of the way and get it in the ship. We've got guns. We do need food, but hopefully by the time we get to that farm, the farm would have done it. I just don't think this place is a decent place to be farming. I think you have to actually do it lower down a mountain, because farming up here, like, the environment doesn't change in terms of temperature, I don't think, when you go internal to external. There it goes 2 degrees. As we walk through the door, it goes, like, sometimes as we, like, go through the door, it goes up to like 21 degrees and then drops again. Don't know if that's a bug or what. I would prefer it if once you've made an enclosed space like this, that the plants don't die. But I don't know how I can make that a thing. I really don't. I'm really considering getting a sentry turret. I mean, these take 5.8 bullets. And these sentry guns, which we can stick on the ship, and they only take up 1 block. They're 1 by 1. That means I need to get loads more 5.8 bullets to use as defense. Let's get one. Let's get a bunch of 5.8 ammo, and then just I think we get 100 per, but I'm not sure. A lot of things I'm not sure on today because there are a lot of variables I need to take into account. We're doing well for ores, which ain't too bad. Iron we are kind of eating into again because of obvious reasons about building the barge. But as for everything else, we're not doing too bad. Let's put this water on the barge because we are going to need some water. If we're going to keep getting hot, I'm going to keep going through water. So we'll put in that there. Does this thing actually need refueling at the moment anyway? Let's just fill all. Ooh. Alright. Let's slap that in there. There we go. Okay. How's that turret coming along? Just finished up. Yeah. And see how many bullets we get per one of these. So then we can figure out how many bullets we're going to have overall. 25. So 10 is going to be 250. So if we get 20, that's 500. Is that going to be enough? 500 bullets. That should give us some sort of protection. You'd like to think, wouldn't you? Gonna need an ammo box as well, which I think we have. I think we have a large one, but we don't need this one here because we don't have a physical turret here. So it might be the fact that this doesn't class as an enclosed space yet because of the fact that there's still terrain outstanding. So if I fill this up with all the grow boxes, it might change how it sees them. It's interesting to think though about that because it's always been the thing that's caused the issue. It's just things dying, and I just really haven't a clue sometimes. Right, we're gonna need a concrete block just to patch up that hole that I've just made. Boop. And also, while I'm just farting around with all this, sorry about the delay in content. I've really not had the best year for my health. Basically, I was in hospital again. I had to have surgery this time on my neck, which I had like an abscess within my neck, and it basically meant that it was impeding on my yeah, it was like pressing against my windpipe, which meant that I'd obviously have breathing difficulties if I sort of left it as it was. So I ended up having to have surgery and having it chopped out, and essentially that's why I'm able to record and upload these things at daft times now, because I've got a little bit of time to myself where I can just do other things rather than just you know, go to work. So I do need to really get back to work because of everything going on at work, but it's one of the things I can't physically work in a factory at the moment with yeah, with just dirt and everything else around me. So it's one of them things. I'd like to go back, but it's very, very difficult at the moment with making sure that I don't reinfect myself. So yeah, so that's the content shortage region. And again, I am sorry for that. I don't try and get ill. I really don't, because I wouldn't put myself through all this stress. If I was, I'd probably have something lesser annoying. But yeah, that's basically the reason why, and I'm trying to get back up on my feet now and put it all beside me, but it is just a bit of a ball ache. having to deal with all this shit, especially with everything else I want to do and want to try and do. So I've got like 7 videos I want to record today, and this is one of them. And I'm just trying my hardest to get back onto the normal content schedule, which is a video every day or two. There isn't really a time I release because a lot of people can tie themselves down to releasing at certain times. I really can't do that. I struggle to stick to that if I do that. So I'd rather just release them as and when than promise something to you guys on a day that's not going to happen like other content creators do. Some of them will release and then they don't. Well, they'll say they'll release and then they don't because of things getting in the way. So yeah. Right then, what I want to do is I want to turn the ship on. I want to jump out of here. I want to jump underneath the craft. I want to jump. Can I get on the turret? Or is it because it's upside down? I think I can access it remotely from internally. If I jump in here and go devices, sentry turret, access. There we go. And this thing will auto fire at stuff as well, which is good. It's just I couldn't access it from upside down. There we go. So the turret's sorted. So we got some sort of defense, which is again underneath the craft because a lot of the things that will be coming underneath the craft will yeah. I need to really make sure the sensors only sense me and ships, not other enemies. Because if they sense other enemies can just walk onto the barge, and that's the reason why I've sort of made it risen up from everything else. Alright, so we've got all that sorted. I think we're ready to go, you know. As I said, food we can sort out when we're there. So we can sort of leave the base as it is. Turn the lights off. Put our MVGs on. And we can take to the skies with our... What should we take? Should we take all... We'll put all the ships on. I may as well. That's the idea. That's what we're planning to do anyway. Let's hope it works properly as well. Ooh. Back it up. And what we need to do is drop her down and pull her forwards until she kind of levels herself off. There we go. And that's pretty centralized as well, isn't it? Yep. And then what we'll do is... well, she's still on actually. There we go. Nighthawk is off. We'll get the bedrock. It's just here. We'll get him on there as well. And what we can do is we should be able to pull up to these, and they should pop out for us. There we go. And just pull on. We just need to find some good parking spaces really for me to park the barge on, but ultimately this is the sort of thing I want to be able to do with a craft like this. It's kind of like a carrier, but not really, because carriers have like a bit of a bit of a heavy defense strategy as well. They basically just are able to defend themselves quite heavily, and they have like attack ships. I do need an attack ship, but I've kind of got the, the Nighthawk for that. But yeah, we've got everything in place. Fuel is looking okay. Power usage is 4. We have 248 hours. 240. Yeah, okay, that's fine. So we want to head over to the farm. So we're going to strip the farm down, aren't we? The farm is kind of that way. That way. So if we, there we go. And here we are, flying our barge. How cool is this? So we're able to carry multiple ships over land and any other freaking sea, and sort of bring everything we need with us as like a mobile platform. And hopefully one day we could expand on this platform and maybe make it into a big ship that we can use as a bit of a a staging ground. That'd be pretty damn sweet. Right, how close are we off from the farm? Farm is just over here. Just kind of tucked up round there, isn't it? Is that it over there? Yeah, we've got loads of lift on this thing. I mean, considering I put large thrusters on the original version of this, you really don't need them. Is that the farm down there? Yeah, it is. Completely missed it. There it is. Whoa, okay, hello. Well, the gun's giving grief to something. What's it giving grief to? Like a turret in there or something that it's attacking, I ain't sure. Either way, we've got a nice landing pad here. I think it looked alright. And just turn the ship off. MVG's on. And let's go. Look at this. Got all of our stuff here. That gun was actually firing as well, which kind of puts my mind at rest a little bit. There we go. And then when we walk away, nothing can get up there. Winner. Okay. So, for whatever reason, the turret seemed to be fixated on firing over here. Which is interesting, because I wasn't sure if there were any enemies actually here. There's toilets, toilets, and toilets. So, I think ooh, there's dispensaries up here. Oh my god, what is that? Installation boost. Ooh, I never knew these things are up here. Hidden and radiation boost winners. So we've actually found more stuff. Jesus. Beef is like, my god. £4.23 for beef, my god. Right, why are all these plants alive and not mine? Why does everything I touch turn to poop? I don't know. I'm going to harvest all these and then we'll get shitloads of XP through just harvesting these, because farms are amazing like that. I mean, we could keep this farm active if it means all my plants are going to die, but if it means I've got to put a farm lower down to the ground, then I'm going to have to. But if we can try and make do with what we've got, then yeah. But from what I'm seeing, these plants have been here since day dot, since we first discovered the farm. That none of them have died, and you know, I'm sure if I planted another one, they would still continue to flourish. So I think it purely is just down to the fact that it's 10 degrees on the actual floor, not in the mountains. And because I've chosen to live in the mountains, it's obviously more of a problem. So one thing to really remember when you're pitching up to build a base somewhere, if you're going to put it in the mountains, bear in mind your food growth will need to be moved somewhere else, because it just won't work else. Let's go and find the core. I don't think I destroyed the core. I forgot about all these crops at the top. These pears and everything. Hey. There's corn. I completely forgot about these when I last came up here. Yeah. Right, and there's the style barge looking as awesome as ever. It really is just. I mean, can I strip anything down from this building? Is it public? No. Was it one of these buildings that was the core building? Must be. It's got to be like behind all this, isn't it? It's just an O2 station. Let's blow this up. There we go. The core's not here, so it's a bit crap. Kind of was suspecting a core to be behind that. Where's the core at? If I power it down, I've still got to destroy a core. There's no getting around it. Oh, come on. Gotta be destroyed. What? How the hell is that still not taking damage? One other thing I could think of. My turret was shooting somewhere over here, and I feel it may be the core because I've got it just set to If I had charges, I'd be able to blow this up a bit quicker. I'm guessing this ain't taking too much damage anyway. No, it's still. Still. We're gonna need. I'm just gonna work my way through ammo at this rate. Because nothing I touch is taking damage. If I can make some C4, but oh god, I missed so many things here, didn't I, last time? Syringes. Somebody been here since or something? Kind of feels that way. Fridge again. Oh my god. Med packs as well. Well, this place only seems to be taking damage on certain parts of the building, which is frustrating for me because I'd rather just dismantle the place and put a new core down. But if that's not the case, I ain't gonna waste too much time doing it. We'll figure it out later. I'll probably figure it out off camera. We got some other places that we can go though. So let's crank up the ship. And let's take off again. So much oomph in this ship when it takes off. And we should have a fridge on board, so we should be able to put all of this, well, most of this stuff that we've found that needs a fridge in the fridge. And the flour's got a perish time, but I can eat something because we do need to eat. There we go, and we can probably eat this waffle as well. There we go. Right then, where do we go next? We've got that place where you can trade. We've got the residential complex which we've been to. We've got the Titan. We've just got some other bits and bobs. I mean, there's not a lot of buildings. I mean, there's loads of abandoned. There's like the abandoned mine and stuff in the village. But I think we might leave them till next episode because, yeah. But what I might do is we'll fly back home, and I'll hopefully try and do some reading on what the hell plants' problems are. What the hell are we shooting at again? No vision on. Let's back up a bit. That's what we're just trying to shoot at. You doing? I haven't really a clue what it's trying to fire at, but meh. If it's angry at something, I best let it take its anger out on something rather than me. Don't want to get shot up, do I? It's actually going to be sunny as well. Flying into the sun. Great. We'll land this down, take our spoils, and drop them back down. And then I think off camera it's just going to be shitloads of mining. Shed loads of just general other things, just getting all the parts together and seeing if we can afford to do any of the New Dawn stuff yet. What I'm thinking is if I, with the New Dawn, if I get the if I basically get a stripped down version of the New Dawn as something I could like a shell, and then what that'll enable me to do is that'll enable me to be able to build the shell in the factory as a blueprint, and then because I've done that, I'll just have to then add on all the other bits later. So I've got the general shell down, it's just filling everything else in, and all the figuring out all the space. And the shell itself is only like a level, I think it's like a level 10, which we can afford. And everything else we can just kit it out as and when we need to, and we could probably kit it out better because we know exactly what we're going to do. We will have to clear quite a considerable landing zone for it because it is huge, and it probably won't take off that easy, I'll be honest. But we might have to end up clearing out a massive zone down there. I'm clearing out all the trees and all the rocks, flattening it down, and then dropping the shell down. But yeah, that was a good first sort of introduction to how the sail barge is being used, and it worked quite well. And it's small enough. It's not too overly sized. We've got space for another craft, well, probably 2 other crafts on the ship because we've got the space on the roof for like a small fighter. And yeah, I'm gonna go sleep by the sounds of things. I keep yawning. My God. If you guys have enjoyed this episode, please leave it a like. Again, if you want to name the sail barge, please give it, please shout it out in the comment section. I'll have a gander, and hopefully you will get your name, or get your name that you chose on the ship. Again, something to do with what its purpose is. Like we've got the Nighthawk. It's just like a specialist sort of craft, really, in it. And then we've got the Bedrock, which is a sort of mining, harvesting craft, which is it's a good enough name. And then we've got the sail barge. What do we call it? Because we can't just call it a sail barge because it's just a bit crap in it, really. So yeah, figure out some names, give me a shout in the comments section. If you guys have enjoyed, leave a like. If you haven't, you know where the button is, and I'll see you guys later. Peace.